We know that Washington state has its force of a domestic violent extremism task force that is doing nothing except highlighting non-existent right-wing extremism. For some reason, it's still going on. Not only is it still going on, the Attorney General's office wants to give it more money. Let's talk about it. Now, one of the members of the task force is Walla Walla County Sheriff Mark Kreider. And he chimed in, and I'll give him credit, because he tried to explain to the group that the way in which they were going about trying to define domestic violent extremism was the wrong way to do it entirely.
I think that one of the things that hopefully we've identified that it's extremely difficult to define extremism because everybody has a completely different opinion and viewpoint of what is extreme views. You know, we can look at just the abortion issue. Both sides of the abortion issue would be considered extremists by the opposite side. So I think the premise of trying to fix a domestic extremism problem in the state is problematic. In my opinion, there's no way that we can define domestic extremism and come to a resolution on what is the extremism.
Correct. I agree with him. Not if you're trying to do what this task force is doing and define domestic extremism under the umbrella of the views that people hold, rather than the actions they take in pursuit of pushing their views. So what he rightly noticed from this absolute ideologically loony lefty comprised task force is that they were trying to define domestic violent extremism through the lens of what views people hold, not through the lens of the actions that they engage in the pursuit of a political, religious, or social agenda. And so thank God for the sheriff in saying, we can't characterize views as domestic extremism. And that's what they're trying to do. Oh, the right wing, the Moms for Liberty and the anti-abortion crowd. He's like, that is a slippery slope, and it's obviously going to be one-sided because you're going to characterize people as domestic extremists who don't support, boys and girls sports, who support parental rights. Those are going to become domestic extremists under the eyes of the state of Washington and the revised code. He says you can't do that because people can hold views you don't agree with, but that doesn't mean they're breaking the law, and it doesn't mean they're engaged in extremism. He said it's the actions, it's the acts, it's the assaults